Hi, welcome to today's video. I'm Tilly. If you have been to my channel before, hello, hi, welcome. It's really nice to see you. And if you haven't been to my channel before, hello, hi, welcome. It's really nice to meet you. I play lots of different games. And I was looking at my Steam library the other day and I realized I have about 29 games in there, all very different, and I have all very different opinions about all of them. I am not a video essayist and I do not have the editing/production time to make full-length video essays on all the games I've ever played. As much as I love to watch them and as much as I would love to make them, it's just not something I can do right now. So instead, I've decided to do a quick ranking of all of the games in my Steam library. But before we jump into the video, if you enjoy what you're seeing today, please don't forget to leave it a like and subscribe. Not only does it really help out my channel, but it lets me know that I'm making the right type of content for you. And without further ado, let's get on with ranking all of the games in my Steam library. So here we have our tier list. I will go through the levels of this and explain what they sort of mean, even though I feel like you probably already know and have watched tier list videos, and these are popular enough and I've been around long enough for people to know what each level means, but I have given them different titles, so I will just quickly go through and explain. So at the top is games that I constantly go back to, games that I think about all the time, games that when I'm bored or feeling sad, I will turn to play. When I think about it, it gives me really good vibes. I have really good memories. So it takes up too much brain space is the next tier down. So it's just a little bit less than perfection. It's games that I did enjoy playing and I have them installed in case I would want to play them again. We have two middle ones this time. I added in an extra one because I feel like there's two levels of uninstalling. So there's games that I would uninstall if I need more space. So I wouldn't uninstall them because I hate them, but I've uninstalled them because I haven't played them in a while. I've stopped thinking about them as much. I don't have as much motivation to play them and I don't see myself playing it in the future. So I've uninstalled it to give myself space for something else. The next one down is already uninstalled. So it kind of is what it says on the tin. I've already uninstalled these because I haven't played them and I have no motivation at all to play them in the future and I haven't thought about them in a long time. Would uninstall because it sucks. So these are games that I have played once or twice and then have uninstalled because I don't want to touch it anymore. And then our bottom tier is erased from memory. So these are games that when I was going back through my Steam files, I completely forgot that I had these. And I haven't thought about them since the last time I played them. So that is our tier list. The games in question that I'm going to be ranking today are 7 Days to Die, Academia School Simulator, Aim Labs, Among Us, Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Origins, which, disclaimer, I haven't actually played, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, City Skylines, Farming Simulator 19, Growing Up, Hogwarts Legacy, House Flipper, Humankind, Life is Strange True Colors, A Plague Tale Innocence, Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo, Raft, Settlement Survival, Splitgate, Stick Fight the Game, Sticky Business, Tiny Echo, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, 2 Point Campus, 2 Point Hospital, and Unpacking, and Zenith. So I have left a couple of games out. I wasn't going to include Aim Labs, but to round it up to a nice even number, I have included it. So we're going to start with 7 Days to Die, and I already know that 7 Days to Die is going pretty high. I started playing 7 Days to Die a couple of weeks ago. It is a zombie survival crafting game. It is developed and published by the Fun Pimps. As it says in the title, you kind of live your game life in 7 days. Obviously it goes on for a lot longer than that, but there is like a 7-day schedule that repeats every 7 days. You build up to the blood moon, which happens on the 7th day, and in those 6 build-up days you're sort of crafting, looting, doing quests to get money, to get better guns, weapons, more ammo, more money. I'm not really sure what drew me to it. I think it's because it's so satisfying. So I think watching Reese really did draw me to the game, and the idea of playing it with Reese, it being something that we can do together, was also something. I'm gonna put 7 Days to Die in. Takes up too much brain space just because I feel like it's still quite early on in my sort of gameplay experience, and I do stream it every Tuesday on my Twitch channel if you would like to sort of follow our journey through this game. But for now, I am putting it in It Takes Up Too Much Brain Space. Next up is Humankind. It's developed by Amplitude Studios and is published by Sega. So Humankind is a turn-based strategy city builder game that sort of takes you through different eras of history. As someone who loves history, it is appealing to me in that manner. Now, this game is beautiful to watch and to play. It runs pretty nicely and the graphics and the design of the game are lovely. I would say there is a lot of text on screen and lots of different detailed icons a lot of the time, which can get a little bit overwhelming. But other than that, the sort of UI and visual design of the game is brilliant. The actual gameplay itself really lets the game down. So in the first week and a half of playing this game, I know me and Reese both loved it. As my first turn-based strategy game, I did really enjoy it. I found it a little bit overwhelming in terms of the amount of information they were throwing at me, but other than that, I really loved it. And then as we progressed through the ages and our cities/empires were getting bigger, we noticed there was a lot of bugs in that it literally would not let you take any more turns, which is essentially a game-breaking bug, especially when you do make it so far into like modern day eras and you've worked to build your empire up and you've defeated everyone else and you are growing rapidly and you're doing so well, you're about to finish, and then the game breaks and you can't complete it and you don't want to have to go back and redo it all. I also have uninstalled this game already. I uninstalled it quite a while ago as I hadn't played it. I'm gonna put it in already uninstalled because without the bugs, which I know are a pretty big deal, it is a great game and it is a beautiful game to look at and it's well designed. It just isn't it for me. Next up is A Plague Tale: Innocence, and this is going straight up to Forever My Lover. I just saw this game randomly one day on the Steam store and decided to download it as it seemed like a pretty good time, and I have fallen in love so much with these characters that I am not doing another Valorant cosplay because I want to do Amicia de Rune from Plague Tale. So A Plague Tale: Innocence is a RPG medieval stealth story game. It's developed by Asobo Studio and is published by Focus Entertainment. In terms of graphics, it's actually fairly good. It released in 2019, so it's not that old. I do think maybe for the time, some elements could have been a little bit better, but it's not awful by like any stretch. The story is lovely. I love the connection that the player has with Amicia and Hugo. In fact, all of the characters in the game, they all have such unique and deep backstories and character build-ups that I'm so drawn and connected to every one of them. I think about this game all the time. Next is Among Us, which I feel like is kind of a dead game. So I'm sure you already know, but Among Us is a multiplayer online co-op game by Innersloth. I'm gonna put it in would uninstall because it sucks, but I think I'm going to put it in already uninstalled. I know in terms of like its age, it's not even that old. I just think that COVID really was the right environment for this game to do really well, and now that no one's in COVID anymore, it's kind of flopped. So I've put it in already uninstalled as it was great at the time, and I do have some really fun memories of playing this game with my friends, but I wouldn't reach to play it anymore. Next up is Aim Labs, which I'm going to put I would uninstall for more space. I'm really toying with the idea of just taking this out of the ranking completely because it's not really a game, it's more of a tool to help you get better at other games. So I use Aim Labs for Valorant. However, that being said, if I did need more space, I would sacrifice it for extra space because I can train my aim in Valorant, just not as well and not as specifically. Farming Simulator. So I bought Farming Simulator, I can't actually remember when. So Farming Simulator is a farming sim that you can play multiplayer online that is developed by Giant Software and is also published by Giant Software. I don't think I've ever actually played this game by myself on my own free will. It's just not my forte. I normally really love simulation games of any kind, but when a simulation game actually requires like thought processing and skills and knowledge, it does not interest me, and I'm completely shut off. And Farming Simulator is one of those things. Like, I have no clue what is going on at any time. I'm just driving around in a tractor, riding horses, living my best life. On the whole, like, it's a good game if that's what you want to do. Just for me, it's not really something I want to be playing a lot of the time, so I'm going to put it in would uninstall because it sucks, in my personal opinion. Next is Assassin's Creed 2, and that's going straight up into Forever My Lover. I might even put it above Plague Tale. I know it doesn't really matter because they're in the same tier. So Assassin's Creed 2 is quite an old RPG, action, open world game, which was developed by Ubisoft and also published by Ubisoft. Ubisoft are known for Assassin's Creed, among their other games. This was actually the first Assassin's Creed game I ever played. Given that it came out in 2010 and I played it for the first time in 2022, this is one of my favorite games I've ever played in my entire life. I don't know what it is about it. It's just perfect. I really loved especially the thing where you would like upgrade the town, and when you'd go up to the guy, he'd say, "Salute, Silencio. Shall we take a look at the map?" And I love the way that in the Assassin's Creed games, they just pop in like random historical figures. Like, again, as a history buff, I love it. Next up is a really random one. It's Academia School Simulator. So Academia School Simulator, again, is exactly what it says on the tin. It is a school management, school building simulator. Exactly my piece of cake for about a day. And then it gets very repetitive, very boring very quickly. It only came out in 2017, so it's not even that old, but I think because the game is essentially dead and the devs aren't adding anything into it, it's just gotten very repetitive and very boring. So I am going to put this in would uninstall because it sucks. Another simulation game which I think is quite niche is Growing Up. So Growing Up came out in October of 2021 and is developed and published by Vile Monarch. This game shouldn't work, but it does, and I love it so much. Apart from the fact that once you've sort of played through all of the storylines and you've developed everything, I don't feel the need to turn back to it now that I've done that. Like, you literally, all you do is you have a baby and you help them grow their skills and become who they want to become over the years until they reach 18, and then they have a child, and then you take on that child, and you just go through the family tree like that. Again, I just wish they would add some more. So I've already uninstalled it for more space, so I'm going to put it in would uninstall for more space. Oh, next up is an interesting one. So Hogwarts Legacy. Just to hit the nail on the head, hammer on the head, nail on the head. I do not support J.K. Rowling. I do not support any of her views. Just do not support her, and I think she has put out an incredible piece of work with Harry Potter, but in terms of her personal morals, she is not the best directed. So I was really excited for Hogwarts Legacy. I have been a Harry Potter fan for years and years and years. So obviously I was really, really excited for Hogwarts Legacy. And I was underwhelmed, I think is the best way to say it. I think Avalanche hyped up the game a little bit too much. Like, it was great, and I loved the world building and running around Hogwarts and seeing literally every single small detail you could of Hogwarts in this stunning graphical style was great, but the actual story itself was ass. It was so bad. I don't understand how in a magical world like the Harry Potter universe, they made such a generic and shit story for the game. Like, literally the highlight for me was doing the side quests and collecting up all of the beasts and the little like moon things you had to collect, and the field guide pages was great because it led to exploration and sort of like a daisy chain of trying new things. Spoilers ahead, but I had no feeling in my body at all when whatever his name is died, the like professor guy who leads you around. It was great at first, and like the magic and learning the spells and stuff like that was brilliant. And then the story just sucked. I put it in uninstalled because it sucks, because it was great to play at first, but once the sort of excitement of running around and I collected everything, I had no interest in playing it anymore. And it took up a lot of freaking storage, so that came off straight away. Next up, Splitgate. Controversially, I'm going to put this in erase from memory. So Splitgate is a fast-paced multiplayer FPS where you sort of throw portals. Kind of visually reminds me of Apex Legends, but you have like these portals that you throw, one, and then you throw another one, and you can walk through the first one and end up at the second one. Maybe actually I'll move it up to already uninstalled, just because I don't hate it. And I haven't like purposely forgotten it because I didn't like it that much. It just like, I don't know, I just didn't have any sort of interest in playing it anymore. Next is Planet Zoo. I'm gonna put, takes up too much brain space. It is a zoo building / simulation developed and published by Frontier Studios. I just don't have motivation to play it very often. I kind of do what I do with The Sims, where I have moments where I'm obsessed with it and then I'm not, and then I am. I like it a lot more than Planet Coaster. I feel like the added layer of having to care and having like actual live animals to look after who have babies and like need caring for adds like an extra layer of, I don't even know, like gameplay, I suppose. So while we're talking about Planet Zoo, I'm also going to put Planet Coaster in already uninstalled. As far as theme park building simulators go, Planet Coaster is a really, really good one if you have that level of attention span, which I do not. The building mechanics for Planet Coaster are way inferior to Planet Zoo. I don't know why they haven't updated Planet Coaster to have Planet Zoo's building mechanics. I find it a lot harder to be more creative with Planet Coaster than I do with Planet Zoo. Stick Fight the game, I'm going to put it in erase from memory. Literally just downloaded it as a fun game for me and Reese to play in COVID together. It just doesn't really interest me. I wouldn't sit and play it by myself. I would only play it with other people, and I honestly forget it's in my Steam library sometimes, hence why it's in the erase from memory. Oh, next up is one of my newest games, and that is Sticky Business. I'm going to put it in takes up too much brain space. So Sticky Business is a sticker business simulation game where you literally cover everything from literally creating the stickers on like an iPad, and then you print them off and you like put them onto the page. You can get like the max amount of prints per page for what you're paying for your print, and then you box them up like little small businesses do with like stickers and sweets and stuff, and then you send them off. It's just a really nice, cozy, chill game that I don't have to think about. I feel like what would really one up this game would be if there was a third person control where you literally like walk around to do all of your tasks, and you can like design your personal avatar and like have your little room / office. Oh, okay, another controversial one. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm gonna put it in would uninstall for more space, because that's exactly what I did. I have so much I love about this game and so much I don't like about this game. The first couple of sort of levels, chapters, I guess, where you're like invading different parts of England are really fun. And then it just gets more and more and more repetitive. The closer you are to ending it, the more excited you should be to play it. But I'm literally like 1 or 2 places away from making a pact with, and I've had to uninstall it because the game is just way too big. And as much as I love playing an Assassin's Creed game that is set in one of my favorite eras to sort of read and learn about, and also in the place where I'm from, it's so boring. Like Tiny Echo, I really wanted to like this game, I really did. I just could not get on board with it. I played it once and I streamed it, and it was just the most forced stream I've ever done in my life. I'm gonna put it erased from memory because again, I forget that I have it. Oh, Rainbow Six Siege. So Rainbow Six Siege was the first FPS that I really took seriously. I started playing it in 2019, maybe 2020, I think. And I think because I played Valorant so much, going back to Rainbow Six Siege would just rupture my brain. I'm gonna go in uninstalled because it sucks. Because the actual game itself isn't bad, like it's fine. And it got me into FPSs, so there's obviously something good about it. But why is there so many freaking agents slash recruits? 2 Point Campus is a university slash education building simulator. It is produced by the same company that did 2 Point Hospital. So 2 Point Hospital is also a build off of Theme Hospital, which I'm currently doing a playthrough on my YouTube channel if you fancy checking that out. I do also have 2 Point Hospital, but we're first going to talk about 2 Point Campus, which I think I actually prefer more than 2 Point Hospital. It adds another layer of like interest, having the campus, and you have to like make dormitories for the students and like entertainment rooms and book them entertainment. However, I'm going to put it in wood uninstall for more space, just because I don't think I've touched it in a little while. Playing 2 Point Hospital is okay. Similarly to 2 Point Campus, now that I'm running out of levels to play with DLC or like interesting stuff to do without DLC, I'm not really that fussed about it anymore. So I'm going to put it in already uninstalled. Next up is a really random one, Zenith, which is a VR MMO. This game was great at first and I feel like it had really good potential, but it literally made me feel sick. Literally and metaphorically made me feel ill. And it's an open world MMO role play where you can be a mage or you can be like a swordsmith thing. The game is so samey and repetitive. Like the gameplay is literally the same throughout, other than the enemies getting harder to delete. That's it. Obviously it's really fun to like experience sword fighting in VR slash like being a mage in VR. I feel like in order to get to more interesting gameplay, you have to put hours and hours and hours into this game, and I am not about to do that. So I'm going to put Zenith in, erase from my memory. Assassin's Creed Origin I haven't played. I've never installed it, so I'm going to put would uninstall for more space. I don't think it's the best Assassin's Creed game. Okay, we have 6 games left. I'm going to speed through these because I've been filming for a long time. Unpacking, a lot like Sticky Business, just a really casual, low-key, chill game. This one is a lot more story-rich than Sticky Business though. You are this character like moving into different locations and you unpack their things into their new space. And it gets harder with each level, like there's lots more stuff where you have to sort of squeeze your way in. So I liked that aspect of it as it sort of kept the gameplay interesting. So I'm going to put it in, takes up too much brain space. City Skylines is going in Forever My Lover. I love City Skylines. It is a city building simulation game which is produced by Colossal Order and published by Paradox Interactive, who I believe are the same people that put out Humankind. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is literally the perfect city builder. I couldn't correct anything about it other than the underground building mechanics and the bus line making mechanics. Those really piss me off. House Flipper, I'm going to put in... it would go in Forever My Lover. It also would go and takes up too much brain space, but I'm going to put it in would uninstall for more space. No, I'm going to put it in takes up too much brain space. I remember watching it being played online and I was like, this looks kind of boring. I don't understand why people would want to play this. Surely it gets boring really quickly, but I don't know whether it's my OCD or like something like that in me, but I just love making up these shitty looking rooms and buildings and then like getting paid for it. The only thing that stops me from putting it in the top tier is the bug. So I downloaded some DLC for House Flipper as I'd sort of finished all of the base game scenarios. There was a bug in, I'm not sure which one it was, I think it's like the luxury living one, where I literally could not complete a build. And it frustrated me to the point where I literally uninstalled the game and was like, I'm not playing it anymore. Because I literally was on the last room of this build and it was this really big like colonial mansion and I'd spent ages on it and I could not finish it. Raft is going in Forever My Lover. I probably wouldn't play it again just because once you sort of get the, not plot twist, but you learn what the game was really all about, it sort of ruins like going back and doing the experience again. So me and Reese played Raft again during COVID time as a way to like game and socialize together when we couldn't see each other. It is a survival multiplayer sort of open world exploration game where you have to craft your raft, and they sort of released the main story in chapters, and it was a really fun game for us to play together and sort of learn that storyline. The design of the game is really, really lovely. It's really nice to play, runs really, really smoothly considering how much water there is around you. I'm going to do settlement survival just because it's going to go in erase from memory. It's like a medieval village simulation builder. Not a bad game by any means, just kind of boring. I don't think there's any DLC for this game, so once you've kind of done everything, there's nothing really new to discover other than building new towns. I actually found it quite hard sometimes as well. Oh, I lied. There is a DLC. There's one DLC, which is free. Okay, well, I'm a big fat liar. I'm going to put it in already uninstalled because it's not a bad game and I did enjoy playing it. I just got kind of bored of it. And last but not least, the last game in my Steam library is Life is Strange True Colors. So I played this not long after it came out in 2021, I believe. Not a bad game by any stretch. It's just not the original game that it's sort of named after and drawn upon. Obviously, the original Life is Strange was a huge success and was an incredible game. Life is Strange True Colors was okay. It didn't really feel like my choices mattered that much, especially not as much as they did for like the original Life is Strange game. I just probably wouldn't play it again unless I was like really, really intrigued to remember the storyline, which for that I'd probably watch a YouTube video. So for me, it is going in already uninstalled. And there we are. There is the ranking of all of the games in my Steam library. If you agreed or disagreed with any of my placings, or you've played any of these games and you agree with me, let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to leave it a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.